Hey everyone, Mark Bertrand here. Insights and Analytics. Today's topic is the internet advertising. I'm going to talk, if I'm an executive overview, kind of a high-level overview of what's internet advertising and how it's different from other forms of advertising or venues of advertising. And the internet advertiser you need to have a split personality. And the reason for that is that we design websites and online advertising for consumers. And I think every one of us has a pretty good understanding of the elements that are involved with getting consumers to take action on websites and advertising and calls to actions and the best use of white space and A/B testing and such as that. But where I think that we're kind of forget about is that we also need to design websites and online advertising for the crawlers, the bots, and the spiders. And the crawlers, bots, and spiders, basically what we're looking at is that a spider is a browser-like program. It's designed to download web pages, whereas a crawler is a program that automatically follows all of the links on the web page. And a bot, is a program that visits and categorizes the information that it finds on a website to a defined set of reasoning parameters, and this is known as an algorithm. And so the way that programs function is quite simple computational thinking. A program can only do what a programmer programs it to do. And we call it machine learning, and these are machine learning algorithms. And I think one of the best examples of a real easy way to understand what machine learning algorithms are all about is a video that I found here from BBC where they did an interview, and it's called a breakout. There's a paddle down at the bottom of the screen here, and there's a ball that comes into play. And the objective is to not let this ball get past the paddle. So you use the paddle to hit the ball, and once you hit the ball, it ricochets up here and it hits this wall up here, and each time it hits, it breaks out a brick. These bricks have values, so the ones down here at the bottom have a low value, the bricks at the top have a high value, and this program then was written to learn how to play this game, and it had one objective, and that objective was maximize, optimize the score. So let's take a look at it here and see how it actually works. Oh, hold on a second. This takes just a little bit of maneuvering here. I've got to mute myself, so I'll be back in a minute.
So this is the game of Breakout, and in this game we're controlling the bat and the ball, and you have to break through this rainbow colour brick wall. So you can see here, after 30 minutes of gameplay, the system doesn't really know how to play the game yet, but it's starting to get the hang of it, that it's supposed to move the bat towards the ball. So now after an hour in, it's a lot better, but it's still not perfect. And then if we leave it playing for another hour, now it can play the game better than any human, and it almost never misses the ball, even when it's coming back at very fast angles. So we thought, this is pretty cool, but what would happen if we just left the machine playing the game for another couple of hours? And much to our surprise, what happened was that the machine discovered for itself that optimal strategy was to dig a tunnel around the side of the wall and send the ball around the back, which is something even the programmers and research scientists working on this project didn't know how to do. We only told it to get the highest score it could. Right. So we didn't even tell it it's got to do a barrier. You can imagine this in computer form. Yes. It's just 30,000 numbers. It doesn't even know it's controlling the bat and the ball. It's just another collection of numbers. Yeah. So it's got to first of all work out what does it control in the world, and what in the world gets it points.
So it took the first hour to do that?
Yeah, first hour to sort of work that out. And then once it's worked that out, then it tries to come up with better strategies to maximize score. So we haven't told it that it's supposed to break through the brick colored wall. Yes. It learns that that's a consequence of getting scores.
So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to understand what is capable, or what's possible to do with computer programs. So what we can do then from an advertiser's perspective is we can also talk to these bots that are programmed to go out and move all around the internet and crawl and spider and such, and we can tell them exactly how to interact with our advertisements. We can tell these bots how to interact with our web pages and sites. And the way that we do that is that there are page elements for communicating with the bots. And there are also, or they're called, meta titles, there's meta titles, meta descriptions, and meta keywords. And there's also, in web design, there are image elements that communicate with bots as well. So our images and our videos also have alt tags, image title tags, and image description tags, as well as video title and video description tags. And these are specifically designed to speak to those computer programs. So when we're going to start talking in bot from a very novice level, then when we add meta and alt information, we're not trying to sell to the robot. So it's a little bit of a different approach in that when you're writing a title tag on a page or a description tag on a page, you've got to step aside from talking to the consumer and more put yourself in the perspective of talking to the bots, the program. So you want to tell that bot what to do. You want to talk to it in computational thinking. So you want to say, what is this page for? Who should be using this page? How should this page be categorized? Who is looking at this image? What is this image for? Who should see this image? That's more computational speaking. That's what you want to be putting into the meta tags. That's what you want to be putting into the alt tags. Not so much talking to the consumer, but talking to the bot. So we want to go one step further, kind of getting into an intermediate way of talking to computer programs in our web design and in our advertising, online advertising design, is we want to put page names. And in those page names, which should be included in the title. So if you've got a page that's all about adding a hot water tank, then that page name should be adding a hot water tank. In that meta title, there should be something about adding a hot water tank, and then the description adding a hot water, and a keyword should have adding a hot water tank, and then you have the heading tags, which I haven't talked about, but the heading tag is also a very important element within the web page to talk to the bots. And so in the intermediate step also is that the page name should be included also in an image title and in the image name. So if you're adding a water tank, then maybe an image that's called hotwatertank.jpg, and in that image title it has something about the hot water tank adding in the image description and the alt tag. So you see, we're starting to make it really easy for that crawler as it's coming through, is that bot is looking over the page and it's trying to figure out how to categorize and how to classify images and content and the different pages within the website. We're teaching these programs now how to interact with the site. So another step within the intermediate is that we can actually escort that bot through the domain. You can actually take that bot by the hand and walk it through the domain. And here's a couple of ways that we can do that. One of them is called a robots.txt file. And this is a file that you keep on the website, and you could actually tell the bot, this is truly the very first thing that most crawlers and bots and spiders look for when they hit a website. They look to see if there's a robots.txt. And the reason for that is because in that text file, you can tell which folders within your website you don't want to have crawled. You don't want them to index it, and you don't want them to show up in search results or in directories or be put into a Yelp page and so forth. So that robots.txt page is very vital. It should be included in there. And the other one is an XML sitemap. You could actually build a sitemap that this that these bots are looking for, and it tells it exactly what the site layout is, what the names of each one of the pages are, what's included within each one of those pages, how to categorize those pages. You can make that bot's job so much easier by building out an XML sitemap. And then there's also XML image maps, which are even more rarely used and extremely vital, because how much search is done now, especially on smartphones, that include images, and image search are critical for most businesses. These are great ways to escort that bot right through the domain and tell it exactly what you're looking for. Now we can kind of get sort of geekish. We can get into that advanced level of talking to these programs, and the way that we do that basically is what's called site taxonomy. And so as an example of site taxonomy, I'm going to show you what Mega Furniture, and so at the home page level, up at the very top level, we have picked a few organic keywords that can be very vital to this particular company, and that home page should have links, category links. What we were trying to do is to segment the consumer, or if you're talking in sales, then we're going to qualify the consumer that comes to the home page by what does that consumer look for. And so here are those main category pages: the home office, discount furniture, bedroom, living rooms, fine dining rooms. And again, we identify a few keywords for each one of these. This is now a category page that's linked to from the home page, and that links back to the home page. So we identify a few keywords that we want to zero in, and we want to make sure that these keywords are included in that title tag, or included in that description tag, or in the keyword tag, or in the image tags, and so forth, and a little bit different for each one of these category pages. Now this becomes the organic focus. The home page and the main category pages are where you're going to feature your strategy, or this client's strategy for organic. Now below these category pages are subcategory pages, and in these subcategory pages there's quite a bit more of them. They're going to be pages to themselves. They're going to link back and forth between the category page, and these are fantastic for pay per click. This is paid traffic. This is where you would actually set up your AdWords, or in your PPC campaigns. These become the ad group, and in here you would have keywords within this ad group that all relate to, for instance, the dining room furniture. There'd be keywords for dining furniture. So each of these would be another campaign within your paid search, and these are the commercial intent. The consumer has a commercial intent. These are the landing pages that you're designing for that commercial intent. And then below there you would have the product or the transaction pages. This is transactional intent. This is where the consumer's got the credit card out, they're ready to make the purchase. These are your transactional pages, and that's the basic site taxonomy. But you write it out in such a way, and you name the pages in such a way, and you code those pages in such a way that the bots can really easily learn how to play your game. They can exactly know, hey, I know how to optimize this game here. So we can go to even one step further past geek. We can get into the mastery of talking to these computer programs, and that's with internet server folders and file naming conventions. So let's take a look at another example. So on a web server, it's laid out just like your Explorer server, where you have all your files on your computer. A web server is no different. It has all the files. So let's say that within your website, one of the features that you have is ballet shows. You try to sell tickets to ballet shows. So you would have a folder called ballet shows. And within that folder, you would start listing out all of the different ballets that you have coming up. Maybe you have a Humpty Dumpty ballet, then you have the Mother Hubbard ballet. So you would create a folder and a web page within your site that has the name of the item that you're trying to sell. So within the Mother Hubbard folder, then you may have images. So the images, Mother Hubbard would be the name of the folder, and inside of that you would have all of the images that relate to that Mother Hubbard ballet show that you're trying to sell tickets to. And maybe you have ads for that Mother Hubbard, and you have image ads, so you would create a folder with your image ads, and within that maybe you have ads for June, July, August, so you have the different months that each of those images and so forth. So you see, even at the server level, you start making it just as easy to communicate with these bots as you possibly can. So we want to say that, well, that's great, but why? Who's using bots and crawlers, and why would this be so important to spend all this time figuring this type of communication out? Well, news aggregates, news sites that share stories, or they go out and they're looking for information and they're looking to research what's going on, where can I get the best information for it, they have bots. They use spyders to download pages so that they can take a look at what that page even looks like and make decisions on, is this a source that we want to cover in our news. Blog sites do the same thing. They have a lot of them use crawlers and spiders because they want to see where they can get the best links, or where they can get the best information, or where they should be sending their viewers. RMS feeds, wikis where they're trying to find out who can share information in deep dives. Search engines use bots and crawlers quite often to rank sites and rank pages and make sure that their users are finding exactly what they're searching for. Directories, Yahoo, DMOZ, Yodel, Yelp. These are huge directories that are using bots, crawlers, and spiders to make a decision on what sites they're going to get listed. Researchers, universities, and the colleges are using a lot of bots and crawlers to make sure that they're able to supply great information to their students. And then there's link strategists like myself and our optimization team, and we're trying to figure out how we can build our clients a higher page rank and get higher up in the search engine results. So those are some of the key players that use these bots, crawlers, and spiders. So then the value, I think it's easier to look at the value of designing in this way, of making sure that our advertisements and that our web pages and all that we do in images are designed for bots, is that if you're not doing this, then you're getting less organic traffic than is available to you. A lot of times you're getting the incorrect organic traffic. You're getting traffic for search engines that will never convert on your site because it's keywords that have no value for you. You get poor ranking positions, so even the keywords that you absolutely need, you're on page like 27 in the search engine and such. You get poor competitive strength. So you want to think in competitive strength, a competitor that has higher page value than your page because of these things that they've designed better than you have. You want to think about if you launched the exact same campaign today, exact same landing page, exact same calls to action, images and all, and they're launching at the exact same time that you're launching, they're going to get more organic traffic, they're going to rank higher in the search engines, and they're going to get there even faster than you because the bots, the crawlers, and the spiders already know that stuff on that website over there is better designed, easier to read, and they understand how to optimize that game better than they do from your site. The other problem is you're going to get a low quality score, and in PPC what a low quality score means is that you get penalized with a higher cost per click. And the part of that quality score is how well does the bot know how to play your game. And then there's fewer quality inbound links, and this is a real crippler. A lot of people don't realize the role of a high quality link, like from wikipedia.org. If wikipedia.org linked to one of your pages, that counts so much. When that bot comes through and it crawls that link and it says, wow, Wikipedia is linking to this page, this must be a high value page, and it gives you a better ranking. So that's what it costs you to not design for bots. And here's a bonus for you. Here's the 10 most important ranking factors for local listings. And you want to have a physical address, needs to be in the city where the person's searching. That kind of makes sense, right? You want to have proper category association for the business. That means when you register your site with, say, Google Analytics, you have to set up in Google Analytics what's the category of your business. And then same thing with Yelp and a lot of the other directories where your business gets listed. And not only does that category need to be right, for instance, if you're selling shoes, then you need to be in the shopping vertical within the shoes category. And if you're not right, then the bot's not going to list your pages favorably. And if it's not consistent, so if you're listed in Yahoo in one category and you're listed in Google Analytics in a different category, and Yelp you're in a completely different category, the bot doesn't know what to do here. The bot just, well, I don't know what this is. So it just penalizes you rather than working with you. And so then there's the 10 most important ranking factors. Now this is done with this category of 10 here is done with a bot that I run that compares search sites that rank very well in search engines compared to sites that don't rank well in search engines. So I typically look at the top 20 search results for a particular keyword, and then I look at the bottom 40 or the next 20, and I compare them side by side. And I say, what's distinguishable, what's very much different between these two groups? And so this is the top 10 of what makes a difference between the ones that rank and the ones that don't rank. And one other bonus site for you here is, here's the 20 most critical ways to get search traffic. And I'll share these slides with you. You can request these slides if you want and have it for a review. Just send me an email and I'll share the slides with you.